Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. My name is Kyle Corvus Crow, joined at the desk tonight by the one and only Jeff Zeta Schnurr for a little bit more of our League of Legends Winter Invitational action. Got a fun matchup tonight. It is the Carleton Ravens taking on San Jose State. We saw some good action on Tuesday, but now a little bit more coming into picture here, coming into focus of exactly how this Winter Invitational is going to plan out. Hopefully some good games ahead.
Yeah, after all, the last series went a bit faster than expected, I guess would be said, right? It's not
Manitoba, man.
one-sided. It was, at least the first game. Second game was a little bit of a quicker experience. So we'll have to see, both of these two teams are still very impressive record-wise. I know that Carleton, if we can pop them up on the screen, there we go, are actually sitting at quite an impressive record. They have a 2-0, a 2-0, a 2-0, a 2-1, then a 2-0 to Guelph, 2-0, 2-1 Ottawa B. Ottawa, definitely one of the stronger Canadian teams for sure, and 2-1 Queens. And I think that specifically is a really, really strong record, right?
Oh,
You
absolutely.
only dropped 3 games, never a full series. That's fantastic. But San Jose has also only dropped 3 games. Granted, they did drop one of those as a full series, but 3 games total, right? They took down Torreo, San Joaquin Delta, they lost to UCSC, then won against UCB, CSUCI, CSUN, and SJSU. But
Right.
still 3 games dropped total, right? Both teams come in with about the same record. It's not super one-sided from the record-wise, but obviously Carleton have been looking incredibly strong this season. We'll have to see who adapted better to the meta, though, as I have some updates. Last time we met, right, we talked on Tuesday about the fact that Cassiopeia was very strong. Currently, she sits at 100% pick ban in LCK. 100%, 2-17
Whew.
in terms of picks versus bans. She's
Wow.
been banned 17 times in LCK.
Do you know how those two picks turned out? Were they wins?
They were wins.
Yeah, okay.
They were both SKT plays, I think.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe it wasn't SKT, but anyway, LCK, Cassiopeia,
They know something's there.
very, very strong champion.
Well, we'll see whether or not she makes an appearance as we are ready to get into draft for game number 1 here. So just to let you know, that is San Jose State on the blue side. It's going to be Carleton on the red side. And one thing we didn't bring up, but I always just have to mention when talking about Carleton, right? This is a school that, takes their esports fairly seriously. I mean, we saw them. I know I sound like a broken record every time they're on screen here, but we saw them, you and I did, win the Quake Championship.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. If you were with us over the summer, welcome back. Thank you very much for sticking with us through a multi-game season. If you weren't, it's fantastic. Go check it out. And yeah, the cast is banned out. I think that's
No surprises.
pretty much a guarantee at this point. You don't want to risk that they've practiced it more, that they've been hiding it as a pocket pick, they've been scrimming, whatever it is the case. Not risking against the Cassiopeia means you get much more traditional bottom lane matchup. It means that you're not going to be, forced in something that you're not feeling.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, just comfort and having to play like that, those habits, it's something that's really tricky for a lot of League of Legends players. So the key of League of Legends is, of course, adapt or die. But most of the time when people are thinking of that mantra, they're thinking of, okay, yeah, like, what items are good right now and which ones aren't. And, is this AD carry just as good? Not, oh, hang on, I've got to learn an entirely different type of champion to play in the bot lane and adapt the playstyle top to bottom. It's just not easy for everyone there. And we see that kind of more at the collegiate level. Those that can adapt, those that do play the meta really well, tend to be some of the best teams out here. And, well, hey, look, there's a Galio pickup early from San Jose, so we'll see whether or not that's going to make a big difference, as that is definitely one of the more popular flavors in this meta right now.
Yeah. Of course, Galio. We mentioned Galio yesterday. He has maintained his strength post-patch. I think that's because soon he's going to get those nerfs we were talking about, but it just hasn't hit yet, right? He's still a very versatile champion. He's still very good at just being an impenetrable wall in the middle lane and at turning fights numerically. So with all those things, all those strengths, no wonder that they pick him up. The Lucian Braum, the good old standby, will come out, and there's nothing really wrong with it, right? Lucian Braum has been strong since Braum and Lucian were together in the game.
There's
right?
there's something wrong with it,
synergy.
and it's first and second pick. That's what's wrong with it, right? Nothing wrong with having it in your composition, but just giving up the Sejuani that early on too.
It's interesting. I mean, the other thing is, right? Let's say you take the Sejuani, right? And you take Sejuani Braum. Another option, certainly. They just pick away Lucian, right? So now you have Braum Sejuani, but you need aggression in the bottom lane, and then you go, okay, well, what else can they be picking? Hail of Blades Vayne, right? That is on the rise currently in terms of being a very strong pick. You want to hear it first. You've heard it here. Hail of Blades Vayne is absolutely busted at level 3 with Hail of Blades. You have 1.5 attack speed, including your reset.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You get a proc literally free, right? You're talking about trading with champions in the top lane. Top lane Vayne, specifically, right? Top lane, yeah. Making a comeback. ADC, you're getting trades in. Sure, whatever. You don't have great range anyway, though. So you kind of take too much damage. But because Hail of Blades is so good, what happens a lot of the time is you just walk in and you go Q after autoing, and then you auto again, and then all of a sudden they're missing half health. Right? No response whatsoever. None of these top lane champions in the current meta can do anything against that. So it is very strong. It is very prevalent. They banned it out, right?
Makes
they did
sense.
their homework.
Right? Yeah, no, good presence of mind to ban that one out and away. The Urgot is the answer here. They feel pretty comfortable not wanting to go against that one. Makes sense when you have some of these champions here that can be dangerous for a Sejuani to run in there. Or yeah, you negate a lot of that black shield if you have the Urgot on your team with Morgana as well. But look at that. That's the Vayne. That's the Kai'Sa banned out.
They're kind of forcing the Ezreal here, and Braum into Ezreal is a pretty good pick, obviously, right? He is a wall. You have to throw your skill shots. Your Q is the main source of damage. Your W, usually you want that to land in order to land the E combo into a great burst of damage, especially in the late game. Ezreal is actually a fantastically scaling champion now. It's kind of crazy to say, but he is one of the strongest late game picks just because he can 100-0 people, you know? You land at W, you EQ, they die. It's absolutely insane. He has so much burst, so much damage, and because of that, right, they don't want to deal with it without having an answer. The wall is their answer, and the Karthus is a very interesting pickup so far.
You know, I actually don't hate it with what I'm seeing here thus far out of the side of SJSU. Or I guess SJSY, since they're San Jose State yellow, but the Tristana pickup for Tfidi there, that's going to be an interesting answer, as we talked about the potential of the Ezreal. There's always comfort at play here, but Tristana into the Braum Lucian can get a little tricky there. Ornn locking it down, though. This, I tell you right now, from San Jose, is not a team that you want to find all together. That team fight potential that they built for themselves is robust, to say the least.
I think the problem I'm seeing, we talked about this last time, right? The meta is damage focused. It's forward looking. It's about the early game. It's about what you can bring to bear. It's about how much damage you can actually do. Sure, both Ornn and Sejuani received buffs recently. Sure, Galio is one of the strongest picks we've seen in, the past couple of patches, but Yorick mid, is that really the answer to the Galio? I don't think so.
Is that not top? Will we not see the Karthus mid
top.
probably?
Rotate it up there eventually. But Yorick top, Karthus mid, they don't kill the Galio, but there's certainly plenty of damage there, right? And so the real problem I'm seeing is San Jose State, again, is lacking damage. We mentioned that in the last time we met, Tuesday, talk about lacking damage in the composition, how front-to-back comps don't tend to do very well. And this is one of those front-to-back compositions. It's about team fighting, it's about scaling up a Tristana, and it's about endless CC. All those things are fantastic if it were a previous season. Problem is, it is season 2019. Technically season 9 if you are keeping score, which is pretty easy given the fact that they match up with years. But we're about to load into game, and I think that this is going to be a very interesting one. It's going to show if the adaptations have been made. If San Jose, maybe they know how to play against the new style of compositions. Maybe they just can beat Carleton's, pure damage, raw fire in the Karthus and the Graves, and all of these absolutely forward and heavy teamfight champions against a heavy teamfight team.
It's certainly possible. It's something I would not rule out, obviously, on the front end there. Carleton, I think they're going to have their work cut out for them early here. especially when you consider probably part of their biggest early advantage, if you're looking at it, is their Lucian Braum bot lane, right?
Yeah.
And we were just talking on Tuesday about how, bot lane can be a bit of an island, and it doesn't exactly matter as much these days if your top half of the map is winning anyway. So that's where I'm going to be looking for those matchups particularly. How's the Yorick going to fare? How is the Karthus going to fare? And what I really like underneath all this is the Graves jungle. I think maybe he can be a little bit more proactive underneath, get ahead of Sejuani just a little bit in some of his pacing. But that's going to be the key player I'm certainly looking to, as we are going to be ready to load on into game number 1. By the looks of everything here, these players are rocking ready to go. And like we said before, just give them the proper introductions they deserve. It is, of course, San Jose State Yellow on the blue side. That means it's going to be Kamikaze playing Ornn in the top lane. Neostar on Sejuani in the jungle. Iron Man avoiding copyright there in the mid lane. We got T-Feedy and Bren Danger in the bot lane at AD and support. Meanwhile, over on the other side is, of course, Carleton University. Banana Warrior on the Yorick in the top. The Yado or Yedo God in the jungle there. Stellar Mini there in the mid lane. I want to get this right, sorry. So Chenzi, I believe Chenzi would be right there in that AD role, and Anyang in the support. So all these players coming to play today. I like the Ignite early, especially out of that Braum in the bot lane. Try to get yourself those advantages. Try to get that Lucian online. I'm expecting the rest of your map to do okay. But you want to get this out quickly.
Yeah, this is, again, it's all about the first start. We mentioned the bottom lane, right? The fact that this Lucian has to get ahead, the fact that this is a very crucial matchup that isn't usually the focus of the meta, right? And as we take a look towards the early starts, we have to see the pathing and how it's actually going to affect the lane. If the Sejuani starts to matter more, if, she can get her double tank line ahead, they win lanes on their own afterwards, it's going to be a very difficult game, right? I don't know how you are going to actually bring it out, given the fact that that is a basically impenetrable tank line. If they lose their advantages, if they don't have the damage that they can do, obviously the tanks are just going to win, right? They just scale better. The Tristana behind them is going to be untouchable. At that point, there's nothing they can do. But if they are able to find weaknesses in the armor, right? If the jungler, maybe the Graves, just barely gets a win, then they take the game and basically run away with it. So we shall see who's going to come out on top of this first game of our second day of casting. You know what it is. It is CSL's JV League of Legends action.
Yeah, we got the Winter Invitational going on right now too, which means, of course, those standings we showed you a little bit earlier, that's why these teams are here. It's because how they did in the fall season. Now winter, spring, that is a new season for some of these guys, but overall, the teams that made the Winter Invitational are already also with an automatic berth into playoffs for the last season around. So things looking pretty good for anyone that managed to be here. These are teams that, some better matches on the docket. Sometimes, you just get those schools, the quick 2-0s, the clean ones. This should be, any school here. It's one of those schools that has that ability to 2-0 their opponents out quickly, that has the ability to just take these series and run with them. They've gotten themselves 5-6 wins here, just in series wins, upwards of 10-12 in their overall game record. So it'll be interesting to see now how they fare, because this is the early round of said Winter Invitational against the other teams, who've proven they deserve to be here. So we'll see whether or not either of these can make a statement play. I mean, yesterday we saw Manitoba come out massive, right, in their stance against Texas A&M at Kingsford or Kingsbury, I believe, and now, that's the bar.
That is the bar. I mean, to be fair, right, that was, I think, unprecedentedly good, right? Nobody coming into this said, every team is going to be super on top of the ball. They're going to have everything down from the current patch, the current meta. It was holiday season. You wouldn't be surprised if these guys took some time off, but if they did or if they didn't, we're not going to know. We just know the results. We know that those results were fantastic in that second game. I mean, we're talking perfect read on the meta, perfect adaptations, and I wouldn't say perfect play, but damn near close to it.
Well, we'll see if the Yado guy can get off the perfect save here, and the answer is no. Kamikaze coming out finding the first one here. So San Jose State The yellow team draws first blood in this instance here. About 4.5 minutes in on the clock, but that's going to be a huge pickup for the Orange, especially solo over the likes of Banana Warrior on a Yorick here. That's got to feel really good for himself. He did have to burn his flash, keep in mind, so maybe something to, you know, have in the back of your brain there as Yato God's going to be off-pathing. Does just take the back, nothing more for him on this top side. That should give the signal here for Neostar if he wants to try to take this gank off. It's fairly low risk. He's not giving away too much on his position. But decides, hey, maybe, you know, I'd be better off with the invade. Keeps that door open.
Yeah, and if he can keep the door open for long enough, it might turn into a revolving door, you know, just keep repeating the same kind of action, but maybe not, right? That is still an incredibly strong champ in that top lane, so it's going to be hard to do, and this is what I was worried about, right? If the Ornn gets an early lead, he is incredibly damage heavy now, right? He has a ton of it, but he's not guaranteed to win. You know, he needs a little bit of a shove in the right direction most of the time. So for him to just get a solo kill like that, get gifted one super early, I think is fantastic. But they're going to need to do something with it, right? They can't just, you know, say, oh, you got one kill. Yeah, just get the CS lead and everything's going to be fine. No, York's going to stay up there. York doesn't care about team fighting. He's going to be that split push monster. So they have to make sure that he has the tools not only to deal with the split push, but that York doesn't just get a free lane.
Right, absolutely. And, you know, you talk about that CS earlier. Well, it's even in the top lane, but it's actually well enough out here to be about a 500 gold advantage for the rest of the Carleton squad here, just with what they've managed to eke out, particularly in the jungle there. We were talking about this Graves versus Sejuani there. He's got quite a bit more clear under his belt and an attempted gank. So we talked about that speed, maybe something that's going to be a factor here. You've also got a 10 CS lead in the bot lane. Not the most massive thing you've ever seen, but for 6 minutes here, Chenzi's got to be feeling okay about that one. They've also been keeping the aggression on their opponents, so good enough, all things considered. But look at this here. Ornn Sejuani hanging around the top side. Maybe trying to get a gank or just some camp clear. The deep vision by the looks of it. He knows he's got that lane pushing, so aggressive play from San Jose State to get in there, but they're getting the information they need. That's a control ward as well. That's a really good position, I think.
Yeah, the control ward, it opens up a little bit more, but it's still hard to actually, you know, get much of an advantage off of this, right? You see the Sejuani pinging towards the top side. Maybe she wants to get a gank off, but realistically, you know, getting these Krugs, just free gold, in essence, and a slight invade, slow down the Graves. These are all great things too, because if the Graves isn't getting people rolling, if he's not doing much of anything, that's still basically a win for SJSU, right? They're not going to complain about, you know, losing hard if Graves isn't really doing anything, right? They still have a way to get into that mid game, and if it goes super late, they've got your stomp. So they're not totally worried about letting the game slide a bit, although they do still want to be reactive. Obviously, we mentioned that multiple times now. Right here, they're trying to make that happen.
Yeah, 3 people in the mid lane. Ooh, Winner's Bite does not quite connect, and the collateral damage from downtown not there either. Why would you channel under tower? Oh, no. He pulled the Requiem
bring him
under
down.
tower. Yeah, did the Requiem pop off, or did he cancel?
It did pop.
Okay,
yes.
Gotcha. So either way, wouldn't have gotten the kill. Yeah, just a little aggressive there. A little bit of an oversight from Stellar Mini, but didn't quite find it. Meanwhile, Chenzi flashing in for this one, actually. I think he's got that kill locked up. Yeah, indeed does. And feels great about that one. A solo kill in and of itself in the way, even though Brendanger was down there, was trying to get that support off. Didn't need Anyang there. Picked up the kill anyway. Happy to burn his flash for that, but look at this. Sejuani is around in the wings. Neostar might be waiting for this wave to go down and try to get back in. Looks like not, actually. They just want to come get the gold, say, look, shake it off, Tristana, you're okay. 16 CS and a kill down, what of it? Well, I'll tell you what of it. Yeah, that's actually a lot. So
that's quite significant. That's about, you know, 1,200-ish gold. It's not 1,200, 900-ish gold, but still large, you know? It's a pretty big deficit. It's something that you're not happy about. You don't like it when Lucian gets leads, but you really don't like it when Lucian gets leads over your late game AD carry.
Right. Absolutely the case. And so now some decisions to be made here if you are Neostar, who's been, say, very farm focused in the beginning of this particular game. It's still behind Graves in terms of farm and just itemization.
Yeah, that's kind of because Graves is just a faster jungler, though, but also because he got really good back timing, right? You saw the Sejuani. She spent basically an hour just walking up towards the top Krugs, invading and stealing. Yes, it's a good steal, right? It's a brilliant piece of damage, but it's also a lot of time.
We'll see if some brilliant damage comes down onto Brandanger here. There's the full stun. Shenzi wants it. Keep in mind, no flash from last time, but a great Braum Q is going to force out the heal and the exhaust. 2 summoners down, but here is the turnaround. The bindings here. Sejuani's come in. Nice ult chain. That's going to be the CC knock-in. He's trying to dash out, but it's right into Tristana. Knocked back. And Iron Man finds the first kill. The second one coming down onto Anyang. The bot lane is dead, and Stellar Mini's got to get out of here. I think Yato God's going to make sure he's got the safe escape, but now what of this tower? That's the question in mind. It's about 10 minutes in, the bot lane opens up, and it opens up for San Jose.
Yeah, it was what looked like a very good catch, but what they had to recognize was the fact that they know the enemy team rotates much better. You know the Galio's going to get there faster. You know he's going to come in with CC. You know the Tristana is super safe. So whatever you do pursuing them, let it go, right? You don't get the kill onto Morgana, that's fine. You blue flash, you got her summoners. Leave it at that. But they go too far, they try to make too much of a play, and they get absolutely punished by it. It's a great response by SJSU, and so far, they're looking like they have a good macro read on how the game's actually going to pan out. But the Graves in the bot lane's trying to shake that up.
Yeah, definitely wants to get back a little bit of that priority that he did just see his team give up there, but not so much the case now. They're just going to shake it back on off. Try to get some of that bot lane potential back. There is a ward behind them, and Kamikaze does have teleport up, so you might think if they want to kind of do a return drive-by to this bot lane, that is an option on the table, especially an early Mountain Drake. It's a big deal, so if you can get that top lane, you know, combo chain in, teleport down, get a couple kills in the bot lane, get the dragon. Well, it doesn't matter anymore. The ward's gone. I was right. That did not stick around long. I thought it was a longer ward, so point null either way. Now just back to the classic action call. The Forge God coming down. Sejuani in the wings, though. This is a flash already used, and it's used early. Banana Warrior. He's going to die yet again to Kamikaze. Great play by Neostar to just get the quick and clean gank. Kamikaze, though, had that one sewn up from the beginning, and now Carleton's looking at a 2-0 Ornn.
Yeah, and you remember how we mentioned that early game? The Ornn gets a lead. It's going to be very hard to unseat him because of, you know, just the fact that he is a tank-style champion.
Hey, rings a bell.
Yeah. It's kind of coming true, right? This is one of the two possibilities, one of the two outcomes. It is the one that they've chosen, but the Tristana with the black shield on isn't actually going to take much damage.
Ooh, teleport. Here's Ornn. We talked about it. It's just going to be to a minion this time. It's going to be followed up, but a little late, and that's already Shenzi down, but it's a double teleport. They're trying to come in to save this one from the side of Carleton. Can they get anything? Kamikaze's low. One more auto, and that's the stun that will shut him down. He is taken out 2-1-0 now in the fight. Looks to be blacking down, but yeah, wants to find a little bit more. It's not going to be enough. Tefiti there, taken back out and around, and nothing too big coming from the end of that, actually, so they will just back off. Tower's about halfway down. State of this bot lane's really tricky when you look at it. It's another death for Lucian, another kill for Morgana, 2-0-1 for herself right now.
Kind of just putting him farther and farther behind, right? He had the lead, it seemed like everything was going well, and then over-aggression, gets punished twice by the rotational skill. It's good timing by SJSU. What they're doing is they're saying, okay, we can afford to be aggressive when we know we have the teleports, when we know we have the ultimates, then it's fine to go in. And they're just kind of baiting the fights, essentially, right? They take aggressive stances, they take aggressive fights. Even though Lucian and Braum win the 2v2, it's never a 2v2 for very long.
Yeah, they really have just been putting a lot of emphasis on this bottom lane, and, you know, it's funny, we talked earlier about this being a more traditional, kind of an older season game plan, an older season composition from SJSU. Well, it's an older season attempt at what they're doing as well, just, you know, stacking out this bot lane Tristana here. They're playing the you know, parameters of their composition very much
Morgana
in this way, so that's the black shield. It's a little early, but it does prevent the slow, so not going to stack the full 4 there. They're trying to save the Yato God as a big surprise factor here, and that's where the patience comes in. We'll see if Carleton can manage to do it without getting this one sniffed out, because you got to think Shenzi, Anyang, they're aggressive when they're holding back like this. Maybe something's up.
Yeah, it's I would say a sign of monumental restraint when they don't just take their newfound lead and just push it, right? They don't need to push it, right? Their top lane, top side, mid side, all have slight advantages. They don't need to push this lead because the rest of their map is still doing fine. You know, if they were to over-aggress and get punished, it's a bigger loss than it would be a gain, let's say, if they got one of the kills, right? So all they need to do is just chill, and if they're chilling and farming, the Tristana's still going to get large, and so far that is still their win condition, so they're very content to do so.
Yeah, and they've got just some more room in that composition, rather, when you look at, you know, the 2-1 and 0 Ornn here, and, you know, you've got Galio, who's, you might think he'd be a little bit further behind on this Karthus, but he's actually doing pretty well, all things considered. Well, now, Tfidi wants to get in. It's a missed Glacial Fissure, but the stun's still there. This is actually big. Chenzen gets out of the chains and flashes the Q, but ooh, that's the big one. They wanted to get Galio in there. That's the bait. But I think they get him out okay here. This is really dangerous now for the bot lane of San Jose State to stick around, and Galio can definitely be poked down. So Shenzi and Anyang wasting a lot of time.
Kill that Morgana.
I know it. Even the the downtown Q would have done it from the Braum, but isn't the case. Isn't pulled out just here, just yet, and maybe this is the re-engage they want. That's the taunt. They're coming in, but he already finds one for the trade. Doesn't matter, because that's 2 now for Galio. Iron Man comes in with nerves of steel and locks that one down for himself. It does mean Rift Herald, you know, a target on the other end. And Kamikaze, yikes, that's maybe not what you want. Yeah, he's definitely going down for that one. So, should be a tower trade. This will be first tower now going over to the side of San Jose. But the Rift Herald is going to be the price paid, as well as, you know, some kill trades. It's, what is that, a 2 for 2 at the end of the day, considering they got Morgana and then Ornn a little later on, just in the context of that minute and a half. So, really, you know, that's a tricky one to call. It's going to come down to the execution of this Rift Herald and whether or not they can get more than just a tower's worth out of it.
Yeah, if they can get 2 towers, they can get an inhibitor.
Tower and a half.
Obviously, it's fantastic, but that's what they need right now. Blue team gets that drag away right under the noses of the Graves. Very surprised that he didn't actually know what was going on. Tried to flash and smite it away, but he was too late in his efforts. And for that, he's going to be missing a flash as well. So not fantastic to hear, but first of the turrets for the side of CU are going to fall. And it's a good thing to see, right? The York is still pushing. He's still applying pressure. He's still forcing the Ornn to realize that he has to deal with him in this top lane. And the longer he does that, I think the better this game is going to go.
I think you got it right there on the nose. And, you know, you look at this gold lead, it's really only 600 gold separating these two teams, despite the 3 kills. I think a lot of that's to do with just the CS that has been kind of slowly built up in the favor of Carleton. It's not a lot on either end, but it is represented in, you know, 3 different roles. You got the top, the jungle, and the AD, all with, you know, significant CS leads, and this here should be the bottom tower. This is going to be absolutely taken out now with the Rift Herald. They may want to go for 2 here. We'll see whether or not Ornn can stop them. Looks like Galio's on the rotation down as well. But I don't think this 3v3, if it breaks out, is actually going to be enough to slow this Lucian on down too much. He's got the range on him, and that's going to be the biggest portion here. If they don't get greedy for this tower, they can really make some damage happen here from the side of Carleton. Meanwhile, Stellar Mini flashing out of that one. He tries to get it back, but no. The shutdown coming out, and around 4 now for the Galio. So it means only 2 present. Never mind, because there's the ultimate coming down. Yeah, Call the Forge God is up as well. There's the Glacial Fissure. Lucian gonna try to get something out of this, but Iron Man already unstoppable. Another double kill. He is online right now, 6-0-1. Keeping consistent in the CS as well. This Galio play has been impressive, and Iron Man is making sure his team stays in the lead.
This, there's a reason this champ is hard to beat, right? We saw yesterday, or sorry, not yesterday, but a couple days ago, where we actually saw the Galio played and beaten by mid lane Varus. That's kind of where it has to be, right? If the Galio loses before it hits 10 minutes, he doesn't do anything. But if he doesn't, it's very, very hard to stop him, as we see here. He picks up yet another kill. He's godlike now, and at 11-4, the game so solidly seems to be in SJSU's favor. You have to wonder what's going to take to get CU back into this, right? Is it going to be the Lucian power play? Is it going to be the Yorick split push? Can they get back in without a throw? Not so sure, but just yet. But maybe bot lane overstayed their welcome.
Yeah, this aggression, this is the punish. They're trying to find it. One more shot. Get it after the Black Shield, but just not quite there. And either way, Iron Man used the teleport, was present. This guy just seems to be everywhere, really using the global limits of his champion quite well. And Chenzi wants to find Neostar before he's out of this one. Probably won't, but this could be 2, is just 1 coming out for Stellar Mini as a great hourglass is used there. So meanwhile, they're going to try to get a little bit more out of this one. Yo, Yorick is here. TFD is around. And, you know, Banana Warrior, what can you do in this situation? The damage is slow, but it's steady. And he's not taking as much, but does decide to back it off. I think they're just buying time. Graves is coming in. There's no tower to retreat to, at least in the first aspect. So this should be Neostar going down. Actually has the dash. TFD is the next target. He's only nearsighted. The shutdown comes for Galio. And he's out of this one. The red buff ticks Neostar. Or the burn damage, I should say. Maybe this is what Carleton needed. This is going to be a good pickup. They cannot overstay, though. This is the time. Drop some wards at Baron and back off. Get the items.
It was a good play, though.
Yeah.
Right? For all of the things that Carleton has been behind, right? They're behind bottom lane. They're behind mid lane. They're behind, you know, top lane. And then all of a sudden, what looks like a fantastic play, right? They catch out a couple members. They bring down the Lucian. It seems like everything's going in the favor of SJSU, and it's just gone, right? It evaporates. There's nothing left for San Jose. They just get run off the field by this aggressive CC heavy composition. Because remember, even though they have plenty of CC, right? Neither team is tanky yet. They both have a bunch of damage and no real way to survive the other team's engage. So if you are the one on the run, if you are the one caught out, they still have a easy way to take you down, and we see that exemplified here.
Let's see now whether or not SJSU can respond to that, you know, abrasion that they just suffered and shake things back up, get this momentum still rolling in their favor. I think they definitely have it in them with their composition, especially. You just look at the tools they have. Well, look, Tristana's still coming online. It's a slow and steady grind to get there. She doesn't have a kill yet, but the 6 assists counts for something, right? Especially just staying relatively competitive in CS with the Lucian. We've also got Orin on the table there, so these are things that eventually, as the longer the game goes, will start to lift some of that pressure off the shoulders of this Galio. He's not going to have to do it all. Iron Man, you know, this isn't him having to single-handedly save New York again. He's got the Avengers with him, so we'll see whether or not they can get to a position in time, because on the other side of things, you know, this Carleton University squad, they've proven they're hungry. They've proven they're out here wanting to get these advantages. Maybe Dragon's the next one of that. This subtle objective might just be enough to tip the scales, especially if a fight can go their way here. Yorick's in. That's going to be Kamikaze with the Black Shield as well. They're just buying time. Call the Forge Gun. Where is it? This could be more. Red Danger, though, huge ultimate there. That's going to be Carleton's coming down with the Requiem. GP against Banana Warrior. This is the turnaround. Yeah, Carleton's here. Iron Man. Maybe just a little late to this one, and it will cost him his life. Yato God, can he live through that one? The answer is no, but his teammates certainly do. And the bot lane of Carleton, the last standing, the first to make an impact in this game.
Fight, I would say.
Yeah.
By Carleton, right? A lot of the time we've been saying, you know, oh, it's a trade back and forth, right? Some of the people go down in one half fight or the other. This was the first time Carleton has definitively won a fight, and now they are starting to take a gold lead off of the back of it, which is absolutely crazy to think about. If you watched this game and you said from the first 10 minutes, who's going to win, you'd be absolutely left flabbergasted right now. 23 minutes in, Carleton have made a name for themselves coming back into this game, and now we've got a series on our hands.
Absolutely the case. I mean, San Jose, they need to find a way to strike back. They probably don't even know that they've lost the gold lead here. Probably think they're still absolutely the team with the advantage. And that advantage, sure, still is Iron Man, but making a mistake like he did that last time around and coming into the fight much too late with that ultimate, well, it cost them a good deal there. They lost the Dragon, they lost all 5 members to an ace, and they lost a tower off of it. So a huge swing now in the swingy game that is League of Legends here for the side of Carleton. See if Baron's the answer they want to bounce back. Just a little bit of harass on the chin. Nothing too bad as they do back it off. They'll secure the vision through the Rift Scuttler as well. And will be a huge advantage for themselves if they want the fight, which it seems like they do. They're flashing in. Banana Warriors hit up Call of the Forge God, but it's only for one guy here. And Banana Warrior, can he get out of this? This is the stall. That's a lot to burn. And his team looks like they want to take advantage of this one now. He's stalling for time, but Iron Man's going to die here if Braum can get in. Banana Warrior finds it without him, actually, and now the Glacial Fissure is just bonus to keep the other four in trouble. There's Stellar Mini with great positioning getting into that one. Kamikaze's in some real trouble here. T-Feedy almost in trouble as well, but they do get out for that one. Now Morgana, what can you do? Bren Danger. Chenzi finds it. Neostar taken down as well. The Requiem to get it out. Double kill for Karthus, and what a swing we've seen from Carleton here. They're going to get another tower, maybe knocking on the door of this inhibitor. The death timers, you know, significant at this point. The minions, I think they can do this one. Tristana can't save them, and they're already pinging the top out or inner tower to get to after this one. This is devastating for San Jose.
It's certainly looking like nearly 2 inhibitors, right?
Ooh.
And that's crazy to think about. From, you know, hard losing a game 5 minutes ago into absolute control is just, it attests to Carleton's, you know, maybe their strength of will, but maybe the fact that this composition just clicked all of a sudden. The click really came when you realize that the York is unkillable. All the resources being put into Banana, for them to try and kill him, right? It's impossible. He's got too much potassium. There's no way they can actually deal with this man.
No
with
cramps.
all that K, right?
Absolutely not.
They just can't. And we've seen that time and time again. So unless they get a way to, you know, I've got nothing. I've got nothing on how they can kill the York. They have to go for other members of this team, but there's so much damage. Remember, we talked about so much damage. We talked about the fact that there's going to be tons of it coming out of this team. It's already happened. This team has so much damage on the side of Carleton that San Jose need to take fights on their own terms, and they need to take them not in a 5 versus 5 situation.
That is such a slow, creeping death to be suddenly caught out by Yorick. Well, guess what? He's the CS leader in this game. The first one to break 200. Only 2 kills. You're looking at it on the scoreboard saying, yeah, hey, maybe not the biggest deal. And then all of a sudden, wow, this guy's a monster. It's got to be a tough position to find yourself in if you are San Jose, because now you got to change some of the game plan. And maybe you're hoping that if they got a champion to this point, you know, you'd have your Tristana there, but she's still just not quite what she needs to be at this point in the game. T-Feedy got to pick this one up, potentially in game number 2 if they want to stay alive in this series. Now, it's not over yet, obviously. It's just a swing for Carleton. But these are the kind of mistakes that you cannot make in a competitive tournament like this one, or you will be punished for them. Maybe not this game, maybe not this series, but down the line, this is the learning experience. And it's all around the Baron, the split push that Banana Warrior's trying to bring into this one. He's got, you know, you talked about that York split push. Look what he can do to towers with that Trinity Force proc. It's a lot to take in.
It's just kind of how York goes, though, right? You need to shut him down early. We mentioned the fact that eventually he's going to be in a side lane and he's going to be wreaking havoc.
Rest of the team's broken off Baron. They're going out of the top lane. All the Forge Gods out here. Yikes. Oh, and it's whiffed. Not good. That's going to be potentially death. Yeah, Banana Warrior gets Kamikaze, and maybe the tower out of this too forces the ultimate from Galio early, and that's going to signal the rest of his team to start Baron, I bet, because now he can back, he can teleport in, or he can just stay at this bot lane.
He can take the inhibitor.
Yeah, I think so.
The worst case scenario is they lose Baron on the steal, and he takes the inhibitor. That's the very worst case scenario.
Yeah, looks like that's probably the potential here. Galio is trying to defend, though, so not quite with the steal. And there's Neostar trying to get it, but just not enough. And may get out with his life, but the flash is what they go for. And actually, yeah, Neostar's still out of this one, but I don't think he's got any way to get out entirely. That's just going to be the death coming in. Iron Man as well says, I don't care if you have 8 kills. I'm only a 4-kill Yorick. I got the CS. I got the items. I'm taking this one out in the 1v1 after I took your tower. And this looks like it actually may try to be the attempt at the game from the likes of Carleton University. Banana Warrior's still down here making trouble. The teleport came in just to, you know, be sure. I think they do have to back it off. Maybe get a Dragon one more rally before they're ready to try to put the final nail in the coffin of this game. Baron on their side, 2 inhibitors. All signs point to Carleton right now.
Yeah, and because all signs point to Carleton, they probably can make this happen pretty soon, actually.
I think so.
I think This is actually very doable here.
That puts some big question marks on the rest of the series here as far as what San Jose State's going to have to do to get back into it, because you talk about adaptation, how to fix things. It's draft. Ooh, well, hey, look, they're all going for Banana Warrior early. They're going to try to find it. The rest of their base may be in shambles by the time they get back, especially if they can take someone with them. But no, Neostar does manage to stay alive. Not quite in Requiem range either. But look at this. The rest of the team is here. They're circling around these towers, and that's the price you may pay. You lose at least one Nexus Tower, maybe more, but the fight wants to break out in earnest. There's Iron Man getting stunned up, already half health, already no health as Chenzi's there. Neostar's the next target. Can he get it? T-Feed, he's going to go down as well, but it's all Karthus coming to take the credit here, and this is maybe going to be a little bit more kamikaze on the last-ditch effort, living up to his name, and does find Lucian, but does go down in the process, and only Brent Danger. There is no stopping the rest of this Carleton squad. They will take game number 1 in about 30 minutes on the clock. 23-17, a 9K gold lead, all things considered. But they did make it happen at the end of the day when it did not seem likely earlier in this game.
I don't think likely is a word I would have used, right? It's not that they seemed that they would, win the game. It's that they didn't seem like they were in the game, right? They weren't the ones doing anything. They didn't have control. They were just being pushed around, and then all of a sudden, game explodes. And Carleton come out on top. A fantastic bait, great splits of the team. Their macro and fights, I think, was absolutely essential, right? They took the San Jose squad and they said, okay, we're not going to force you to fight us. We're going to force you to fight one of us.
Yorick,
and then you're going to blow too many things, and we're going to bring in the rest of our damage. And because they brought so much damage to the fight, they could absolutely do that, right? The side of San Jose State brought, again, Ornn, who does extremely well early, but starts to fall off slightly. They brought Sejuani, they brought Galio. All these champions have great ways to burn down their lane, but if you don't use them properly, and you don't have good damage supporting them, they just fall apart.
Well done to the Carleton University squad. They will go up 1-0 in this series, but series is the key word here, and that means San Jose State.
1 to 2 more games, at a minimum.
They got a chance to battle this one back. We'll see whether or not they can do it, but we are going to kick it to break before then. Give these players a little bit of time to strategize. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking with us through the break. I am still Kyle Corpuscove. That is still Jeff Zeta-Schnurr, and we are still in the middle of Carleton and San Jose State. These two teams trying to battle it out against each other. Carleton on the ropes, but came back, executed their composition extremely well, and put themselves 1-0 in this series. San Jose State now going to have to adapt or die. That is the name of the game. We'll see exactly how they can do it.
Yeah, we'll see if the dying comes first or if the adapting does, because after all, one's going to have to happen, and I'm not sure which it's going to be, right? If it turns out that San Jose have, really just tried to experiment with that comp, right? They were running in scrims and was having great results, or if it was something that they hadn't scrimmed and they were just trying to see if it would work. Best of the first game in the series is always like that, right? It's always about who engages first, what happens, If it's a weird comp, sometimes that just gets run. TSM famously would often throw away game ones of a series and then just win the next two.
Right.
So it is certainly possible with the way that they played that comp, certainly well executed for the most part in the early parts of the game, but it just started to fall apart when they had a lack of damage. And it is possible, right, that things will change, right? It is certainly possible that SJSU have more comps in their pockets, but they do not want to play against Galio either. They have now removed it from the table. Certainly a good thing, I think, because if it gets first picked, you're not going to like it.
No, I think so, and it was, the first pick option coming out from the last game, if I recall correctly, so no chance of seeing that one here this time around. The Camille also banned. Gangplank Zoe, no surprises there. We'll see what the third and final ban of the first phase is for the likes of Carleton, who have now swapped to the blue side, of course. We're going to get the Nami out of here. I believe that was, a recurring ban from last time. They don't want to see Brandanger on that one. Would rather just deal with the Morgana. Again, she was a bit of a nuisance a couple times last game, but, if you know what you're going up against, hey, they already know they can manage to beat that one. Karthus this time, that's the adaptation. They don't want to give Stellar Mini that same chance here, so we're going to see a new mid lane full stock no matter what. Whether or not it ends the same way of Iron Man getting a big advantage and then not making it happen, well, we'll find out. The Casio, though, left open in the first pick. That is locked in. So maintaining that 100% pick ban rate here, at least in all 4 of our games we've seen thus far. Or this will be the 4th, rather.
I think that's probably for the best, though, right? That champ is not just strong, but it's consistent. And the reason I was doubting it so much last Tuesday is because I hadn't seen widespread professional adaptation, right? When you see a champ and it gets picked a couple times, you think, oh, it's okay, It's all right, they can run it, it's doable. When it gets picked or banned every game of 2 regions, by the way, 100% pick ban, and LPL also, it's kind of good. So it has passed the kind of good thing. They've picked it up, and we shall see now what becomes of Carleton's composition. With the Cassiopeia secured, the Aatrox no longer banned. They could absolutely take that in first rotation, first phase, as it were, and they will do so.
Yeah, look at that. That's going to be a big pickup there. Nunu and Willem Aatrox as well. Now we have the Sejuani again, Neostar. Didn't play it badly. Didn't make the impact we maybe wanted out of that one, and now they're having to go for some high-impact champions. The Orianna, the Fiora. Maybe a little bit more of that, hey, you know what, we've got some damage. We've brought it to the earlier game. It's not, the meta damage that we're as used to seeing, but it's still, when the meta is damage, hey, how many wrong ways are there to go about it? We'll find out.
Not very many, put it that way. There are not very many ways to go about getting damage. You just pick damage champs and you play them. That's it. There's really no secret to it. You just keep playing the damage champions, hope they all work out.
You too will be judged.
With that, now the bans are on the table. The Lucian out again. Shenzi not going to get a chance to play that. Now Brandanger not going to get to play that. Morgana as well, so some support focus here actually over on the side of Carleton. They don't want to see it. Ezreal wasn't banned last game, wasn't picked last game, didn't matter. He just slipped through the cracks, but this time around they say, hey look, we don't want to see this one come out. We don't want to have to deal with it, even though that definitely, could be Shenzi playing the Casio anyway. not going to be the biggest concern for them. They're just going to take it out and away. We'll see what the final ban is now. It's going to be the Kaisa. So, Tfidi, what can you do? Vayne was banned last game. We'll see if Vayne makes an appearance this game for either side. Not going to be likely the top laner here, unless they, pulled some really crazy stuff over on the side of San Jose. But still an option on the table. And Pike.
The crazy stuff has already come out, right? The crazy stuff is the new Cassiopeia. Beyond that, I think the Pike is very strong, right? He can deal significant amounts of damage. He has great execute. He's a very, very intensely powerful champion in solo queue. In 5s as well, he has found massive success because you no longer need to deal kill percent damage as a bot lane pair, right? You don't need to finish them off. You don't need to get them to be, absolutely dead. You just get them low-ish and then they die. So, in that sense, they've picked Jhin with the Cassiopeia.
Interesting, yeah, so...
Cass mid.
Yeah, should be likely for Stellar Mini there. I think they just wanted that one as the flex, so... Whether or not
So
that
it's an
does...
option, and Bard!
Yo, I would love to see Bard.
Not a champ we've seen.
I love Bard so much. He's one of my favorite champions to watch, probably ever since, maybe... Was it 2016? Yeah, Aframu pulling the best Bard in... Maybe the West, I would say. Easily the North American LCS. But...
Well, there are very few people who were playing Bard at the time. I think the only arguments for good Bard players at the time were like Aframu and Key. So, if you weren't one of those two people, you weren't really picking the champion. It wasn't like it was, busted. It just kind of existed. And for the most part, it was abused as an auto-attack reliant harasser in lane. The difference is...
We've talked about... We do need to just spend a second on the Yasuo pick, right?
It's pretty commonplace nowadays.
Okay, but I mean,
it's for those of you who don't know, Yasuo is actually a very commonplace bottom lane pick. It replaces a traditional AD carry. It does basically the same things. It is a consistent AD threat champion that just kills people. Consistent damage, crit damage. It's what he has. He spikes at 2 items. It's a great spike to have for most of these critical strike champions that have fallen off the meta. They don't have that luxury, right? And so, to see them not get that luxury, it means that you need to go to alternatives. The Cassiopeia, the Ziggs, the Yasuo. These are all things that have been played very recently in the picks, and I think the Yasuo is more normal than not. So I didn't mention it because, at least for myself, I've seen it in, basically every other solo queue game. People will be playing Yasuo AD.
So he's got a Bard and a Jhin to go into, though. Let's unpack the way that matchup unfolds just a little bit when he's trying to do that, and he's got Pike as his support, right? Yeah. Which those two champions to me don't seem like they're gonna have a lot of great overlap in the way that they were drafted. It seems more kind of, hey, I'm comfortable on Pike. Okay, hey, I want to play Yasuo. Well, I could be wrong there.
So the way that Pike, at least that I've played, and I play with a Pike main quite often. The way that we play with Pike is that we say, okay, the Pike isn't the only tool that engages. Generally, what you want to do is you want to use your AD, AP, whatever it is you bring with him to set up the Pike and get him a guaranteed engage. He can engage, he can get pulls, and if he does get a pull, you absolutely go in anyway. So the way the lane is going to play out is they're going to try to land a tornado or a circular knockoff based up of his EQ spin combo. If they do one of those two things, the Pike will pull somebody back, then leap through them and try to get the stun. If they flash away, he's going to flash to follow, and at that point, all bets are off, right? If the flashes go out, they're going to be absolute chaos in the bottom lane, but this is us getting onto the Rift for game number 2.
Yeah, we'll see whether or not they can make it happen here, and it will play out the way you thought. Because now, this is going to be tricky here, I think, for San Jose with the composition that they've drafted themselves over. Now, on the red side, Carleton, the blue squad, do need to find a way back into this. Make sure that they're... not find a way back into this, sorry. Find a way to keep that momentum going is what I meant to say. Slipped up a little bit on that one. And make sure that they don't fall behind in the early game yet again. Now, there's not as much of a threat with, the Orin Galio getting fed early, but you just trade that out for a Fiora here that can really make some interesting things happen here on the game. I'm surprised. Oh, they want to start this way. Thought, yeah, that was going to be an aggressive check from that Sejuani, and so safely backing that one off all things. Going to be fine at the end of the day. I believe everyone's just going to happily go give their jungles their preferred leashes, run back to lane, and we'll start this game off the safe, normal old way.
I think it's what we mentioned, right? We want to know how this bottom lane's going to turn out. Bard is quite abusive towards champions that are melee, right? He still has great auto attacks, he has great damage, he does excellent, work in terms of just being able to bully people, and I think that this isn't going to be much different. It's a Halo Blades Bard, so he has multiple auto attacks that are going to be quick and strong from the get-go. As we can see here, even if he gets pulled in, he's going to trade even or better than even with his opposing partner because they are melee. They have to get out of his range, not the other way around. So he has free time to trade, the Jhin has free time to trade, unless they get full engaged on, they're going to be winning all of these, right? There's just no way at this point in the game, or any time before level 6 or so, that they are going to get out-traded.
We'll see now if that level 6, that getting there early enough becomes a big condition or not, because teams usually aware of these kind of timers, but you can tell San Jose didn't exactly play to that timer as well as they could have. In theory, yes, last game they should have been the team that had the win condition timer, right? They had the Tristana in their back pocket. Hang on. Neostar could be in trouble here. It's a flash early. That's going to get him out okay. So, but yeah, they were the team that had the time win condition, and that kind of blew up in their face once Yorick just came online all the way. They couldn't get Tristana there in enough time. So this time around, how are they going to change this one up? There is no Zillion, there is no time manipulation. They just have to do it a good old honest way, and that could mean Kamikaze trying to get the hurt onto Banana Warrior here. Early level 3, but not going to push it out too hard. Fiora into Aatrox. It's a grueling kind of lane.
I remember when old Aatrox would do the same thing, right? You'd walk up to the Fiora, and you just hit her and try to engage. Oh, more of that coming out.
Yeah, he wants to find this one. Flash not used yet, and won't be. Good save, all things considered here for the Fiora, just to hold off on that one. But Banana Warrior going to find himself at a pretty good CS advantage here, especially if Fiora decides not to burn that teleport. I think it's going to be the gentleman's agreement, actually. Just go ahead and back. And
nope.
No.
Here comes the TP.
Kamikaze wants to use that one early, keep the pressure, get the priority back. Can't blame him. That's actually a pretty big oversight now from Banana Warrior.
That miss.
Ooh, yeah, that hurts. That hurts. Okay.
Wall stops a bunch of the poke, but does it give the Yasuo enough pressure? I'm not so sure, and the missed auto attack on that minion means that he's not going to take too much damage, no matter what the case was. But this is still interesting, right? It's interesting because the fact that even though Bard gets pulled in, even though he gets focused, he's not actually getting burned down.
Right, yeah, he's absolutely right. And you know what he does get hit on, he just really quickly regens up. These little charms there, so could be.
Nunu,
yeah.
Almost too telegraphed. I think that's the real problem with Nunu into Fiora, is your main CC ability is incredibly telegraphed, and your secondary CC ability is incredibly telegraphed. So if you walk up towards Fiora and you land your stuff, she can guarantee get stunned by you.
Yeah, it's, go to the post office, write out a letter of intent, send it to your opponents. Opponents, please be advised, in 3 seconds I will be attempting to come and stun you here. There's Fiora dashing away, but not the right way. It doesn't matter. This does have the riposte. Just get out of that one okay, and, that's the telegraph. There were, 2 options when the dash out of the way failed. Still had the backup plan of just riposting it right out through, so maybe that was the plan all along. Didn't want to give Nunu a chance to get behind if the dash went wrong. No big problems there. Kamikaze trying to get priority back in this lane and falling a little bit behind.
He's managing the wave very well, right? He has been absolutely pushing the wave to be
nice pull
against his favor.
Yeah, forces the flash out. That's going to be a big enough one on Young. Really good portal use there. Most other champions, that's a death. But
or at least incredibly low fraught fight, fraught escape. But it's Bard, he can take those positions and not be punished for it.
Right. Managed to make it happen this time around, so good for him here. Only 6 minutes into the game thus far. No deaths just yet, and that's not what we saw the first time around. It was San Jose taking first blood in that top lane. Well, Kamikaze having just a little bit harder of a time this time around. Bot lane, a little tricky, but here's Nunu coming in. Bard out the portal, actually goes out, not in, oddly enough, and don't know if he meant to do that, actually, because it cost him potentially a stun, potentially some CC there that could have really turned that into some more damage, maybe a summoner or two out of his opponents instead. Just takes his little portal out, the magical journey, no big problems there, and hey, everyone goes off scot-free quietly about their business. Let Sejuani know she's fine to just cover around. Neostar can hang in that mid lane, keep the wave in good position for Iron Man to come back, and at the end of the day, that's probably what this team really wants anyway, is to get Iron Man more kills. It was a big part of their win condition last game. We'll see if it adapts to one this game, as now mid lane's actually left unposted from the side of Carleton.
Very interesting trip up towards the top side. I'm not sure what they hope to accomplish with it, because generally when you gank, when you leave a lane, right? You have, as she did, Cassiopeia had push priority, right? So she has push priority, which allows her to leave, and then she would take an advantage with it, right?
Orianna in trouble. That's a flash.
Whether that's vision or it's, you know, potentially some kind of a gank and pressure. Oh, or an Aatrox trying to force.
Yes, stunned under tower. That's tricky, though. The resurrection just to negate it. But Kamikaze, very healthy. Yeah, got a flash out of that one. And not what Banana Warrior wanted, but at the end of the day, not the worst thing either. There's the magical journey. Can you get Brand Danger stunned up here? The root of the stun, it's chained up. And that's going to be the potential here to get him down. Yeah, yikes. Not what you wanted out of that one, but still sticking around, does bait out the Yasuo ultimate. There's the flash. Not going to be enough, though. Tefiti in some trouble, flashing for himself. The first blood does finally come out. And can you make a little bit more happen with that fourth shot? The answer, not quite. Brand Danger there did get out with his life, but the flash for the yes. That's a big takeaway at the end of the day. And maybe they're going to turn their attention towards this Cloud Drake. Who knows? I think just some good vision. Maybe a little bit of harassment in the jungle here. Things looking okay for Carleton now, finding that first blow, and only about 600 gold to their advantage for it, but you can't sneeze at it. It's been a slow start to the game, so at this point I think you take it to get.
Yeah, and this is a little bit slower than most games start, right? It is a very conservative start, given all the damage that has been out, but neither one of these teams really wanted to make that first move. You know, they wanted to play off of what their opponents did. They wanted to counter the engage rather than actually be the ones to do so. As we saw, you know, the huge force by Carleton, spending so many resources just to try and get that kill, and they didn't really do it, right? They needed to bring in another member and use another ultimate just to get the kill, just to make it all worthwhile, but in the end, it's still only a 500 gold advantage. So if Carleton can't do something with this advantage, if they can't combo it into more of a lead, might not have been the best call.
Ooh, let's see if more of a lead can come out on this flashless fight in the top lane. Just Banana Warrior stacking up a big old minion wave, and we got Yato God coming on the backside. Maybe trying to make a dive happen here. It would be aggressive, it would be risky, but you know, you talk about Telegraph just walking right up to the tower. That's a big one. Kamikaze feels comfortable here. He's already got the damage pre-tower, but here's Nunu doing the damage for himself this time around, and that's going to be a pretty quick, clean kill picked up. No! I thought he was going to live through that one. The tower does the rest of the dirty work there and finds it for him. The shockwave pulls back in Stellar Mini. He's trying to get the damage back, but pulled twice now as Brand Danger's there. Tries to get to the blast cone in time, but does not, so that's a kill for the Pyke. Orianna going to be that nice blue highlighted box on the back end of that one. And now Anyang maybe in some trouble as well. That's going to be more damage coming down. Yeah, he's not getting out of this one. That's going to be the knockup to take away. 3 kills now to 2. Gold still favoring Carleton, but that's a nice swing for the likes of this SJSU roster.
Yeah, and it's kind of expected, but it's also just them actually getting that counter. We talked about it. We mentioned that neither team really wants to make the first move, and sometimes when they don't make the first move, the game just flows in a certain direction. Last time we saw this earlier, pull, knock-up, stun combo.
Yeah, tough for Chenzi here. He's absolutely taking down the dragon as well. Out by Neostar here. Yato God tried to get in there and maybe steal it, but not going to be enough for him here, and may cost him his life all the same. Bard trying to get the save, but Anyang, that's the aggressive play, and look at this. San Jose State, again, off to an early lead here. Stellar Mini going to be in some real trouble now with this exhaust as well, likely going down, and Brand Danger with the execute makes sure that one happens. And it's Orianna again getting the credit. Big play coming through here. This is a great start now for San Jose. They had a great start last game, though, but this one feels a little different with the composition they've drafted for themselves, too.
Yeah, and so the good thing is, right? Here's the great part. Great part is Yasuo is ahead. This champ is their scale. It's a bunch of their sustained damage. It's super important, and they have a lot of combo tools for him, right? Knockups from the Sejuani, the Orianna ultimates. Oh, more fights in the top lane. They're not stopping.
No, they want each other badly, and this one was started by Banana Warrior, but maybe Kamikaze will be the one to finish it. They're both so low, and it looks like Banana Warrior's got that one. He's going to peel Kamikaze right back and take that one down. Second death now for Fiora, the first kill in the hands of this Aatrox and the Shockwave now. Iron Man locks that one down. Bard's going nowhere. He'll take that one. Finally puts one on his scoreboard for himself. Has been getting, you know, the Pyke leftovers, so to speak. But this time around now does end up with a full-on, nice little one on the scoreboard. And so it's a confidence booster, right? And now the tower, something that could be in some real danger. I don't know if Jin's going to be able to get there in time, even with these minions.
It's going to be below a bar, even if he does get there, but he should be able to clear it just enough that they don't take it on this wave.
Well, yeah, did just get right around that bar mark, as you said, and now this could be bad for the Bard mark here. He could be in some real trouble here. He is actually taking out mid-magical journey. I love it. Well done, Brand Danger here. Maybe saving the Pyke for a little bit, but when it did come out, he's been playing this thing incredibly well. There are 8 kills for this, for this roster. He's been a part of, I'm sorry, there's 9 kills. He's been a part of 8 of them. So, absolutely a prolific player on the Rift this time around. And
it's kind of how the Pyke goes, though, right? The Pyke is the strong suit. It is the one that forces kills, but so is this Nunu.
Yeah, wants to get a little bit further under. Stellar Mini gets the one on that one. That's going to feel great for himself. And yeah, maybe just trying. He knows he's going to die to that one, but does get out Stellar Mini, and that's a big turnaround, all things considered. Now, Genzi trying to just keep this bottom lane from going too far down, but here's Bard roaming as well as the Cassio. They want to get in. Can Stellar Mini be there in time? Windwall right in his face. Yeah, not meaning the stun going to connect there. No fourth shot either. Not going to be enough. That's the lockup. And there's a teleport coming down. Can you get a little bit more TP? Not even barely damaged by that one. And yeah, no, Stellar's going to die to this one for sure. So not at all what they wanted. Tried to make a turnaround happen, but wasn't in the cards at the end of the day. And that means plating goes down. A couple kills go down. That one's going to be all in favor of San Jose here. They want to keep going. The execute not there. Yeah, but that's going to force the flash. It's going to be the stun up. Maybe they turn it around. Yato God's here, but Kamikaze is as well. And he wants to get them through. Meanwhile, that's going to be some trouble for him. Has to run away. 2 low health bars, but they are speedy dash-based champions. And Yasuo is there for support as well as Ori. I don't think anything else is happening here to favor the likes of Carleton in this particular scrap. They need to back off. They need to regroup and form a new plan.
Scrap, though, right? Besides the top lane, besides the fact that Banana Warrior is ahead, they've got nothing. The Yasuo is dominating. They've got to deal with an Orianna as well. The Pyke, absolutely a menace towards the rest of their members, and they haven't found a way to deal with any of these yet. San Jose, they look like they're in the seat from last time, but much more unwilling to yield, right? They don't want to actually slide over and give Carleton a chance in the driver's seat. They're just forcing the issue. And beyond this Fiora, beyond her not having a chance, they've done a great job of that.
And Danger just barely missing that hook that would have changed this fight entirely, but now Kamikaze probably going to die here. The Bard will make sure of that if he can, but even if he doesn't, Stellar Mini is here, and that's going to be enough. This Cassio, look, you try to get the damage, you try to maybe get over the wall, but no. There was just no chance of it at the end of the day. That one locked, secured away. What a side of Carleton, and another critical kill here, favoring this Cassio. 3 for herself, 2 on the Aatrox. These are the basic stepping tools that they need on the side of Carleton. The question of whether or not it will be enough is absolutely the storyline to follow right now.
1 versus 1 that might decide a lot.
No way he gets out of that one. TPD is dominating indeed. Locks it out. Just like that.
That's the real one that decides something, right? It's, can you beat our superpower? Can the strongest member of your team take on the strongest member of our team?
Can my dad beat up your dad?
Yeah, sure. Anyway.
Sorry.
What was I talking about?
You were saying that's the benchmark. If the strongest member of your team can beat the strongest member of our team.
I don't know where I was going with that point. Anyway, the Yasuo was big, he got the kill, and it's just going to continue to be that way. It's looking like San Jose actually have a formula to win, right? They've got themselves a composition that's pretty orthodox for this meta. You know, a jungler that's a little bit CC heavy, still got damage. Damage top, damage mid, damage AD, damage support. Everything is there, the pieces are there, the lead is there. They just have to close the game out.
That's what
They're
they
going to be
struggled
back
with
to,
last time.
back to 1-1. Remember, this is for their lives in the tournament, not for the lead.
He wanted to stay alive in this one. TPD just wants to stay alive
Wow.
in this lane, and look at that! What play, and he spams the campfire on his way out as well. And look at this guy! He's got the fancy feet. He stops to taunt, actually, and that's got to be tricky. Yeah, Jin wants to get in there. TPD, he stopped for a second. He wants to turn it around. Are you kidding me? He actually manages some of that one. That's 3 thus far for the likes of San Jose. Maybe more to come. Yadogod trying to get out of this one now with the Iron Man double kill. That one only went over to Brendanger. Can he get more out of this one? Can Banana Warrior try to find this? This is really dangerous. He's pulled in. He wants to find Iron Man. He's so aggressive here. The execute doesn't matter. Just gets the resurrect. Well timed on the likes of Banana Warrior, but now he's here without a lifeline. He wants to find him. It's a dangerous dance. And Iron Man, he's got his dancing shoes on, but is it enough? And the answer is no. Banana Warrior, living up to the Warrior's code, finds that one. Neostar wants a tower out of this. Will get it. What a sloppy run of things thus far from everyone. This means Neostar likely dead now that Anyang is here, but the backup from Brendanger, is it enough? Can you get the double stun here? Can you turn it into more, or will you just get yourself in some danger here? The answer may surprise you next time on Dragon Ball Z. He flashes out of this one. Neostar will finally die this time, though. And now Brendanger.
That Nunu back into turret, though, and
Yeah.
Nunu's going to go down. He can't even bring down the kill.
Ugh.
Ooh, and that's surprising, to say the least. But, yeah, this is sloppy fight. This is not what you want to see out of San Jose. You want to see them with convincing, clean fight wins. The sloppier it gets, the more gold Carleton are going to have, and the more of a chance they're going to have to get back into this game, right? San Jose need to be closing this out clean. They need to take their Yasuo, take their Pike, do exactly what they did last time in that fight, but without the pre-fight baiting, right? If Yasuo's at full HP, there's no problems whatsoever.
Well, he's close to it right now. 2 members against him, though. We'll see whether or not they can make a difference. It's a nice stop by Bard, though. Look at that. Just shuts him right down. Banana Warrior with the interrupt, making a huge difference in this one and locking him down. That's a big kill to just give over, and proving now that, you know, you can take a 7-kill figure and make him bleed. It's almost exactly what happened with the 8-1 Galio from last game. Now, this Yasuo is certainly stronger than that Galio ever got. Right now, this is troublesome. Kamikaze's in on it, trying to get Banana Warrior. He finds, actually, look at that. Orianna, Iron Man's down, and they're going to get Kamikaze as well. Are you kidding me? Carleton taking advantage of a situation yet again. May be able to find Neostar here for just a little bit more oomph on this one. Really
man.
taking advantage of the fact.
I've seen this song and dance before.
Yikes, this has got to be dangerous. Neostar's in some trouble. Stellar Mini, can you make it happen? Will the poison do it? The answer is yes, and now red buff in the hands of Stellar Mini, but there's Brendanger trying to get out sneakily. T-Feedy's there, and we'll try to help him out here. That's going to be a huge ultimate coming in, but is it more? The execute does not land, and they want to get in, but T-Feedy, he's low now. He's got 4 to contend with, and it's just not enough. He's taking out Stellar Mini. Almost goes down, but does live to tell the tale. We've gone from something like 8-16 now to 14-16. Carleton on the warpath. They get to this 20-minute mark, and they say, guys, we cannot lose this game. Throw everything at him and see what sticks.
Pause a second. Let me run you guys through last game's timeline, if you don't remember. This is legitimately the same exact thing that happened, right? This is the same exact thing that happened last time we saw Carleton. And last time we saw SJSU, right? San Jose literally last game had the lead. It was 20 minutes and Carleton went, are we sandbagging? Are we losing? No. Pause. We're going to do this again. And then they won. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but this looks like a very close representation of that exact same chain of events, right? They're losing. Oh wait, we have a really strong top laner. We win.
Yeah.
Same thing over again.
Cassio's come online too. I mean, it's certainly not indicative that it's going to be the same result no matter what, but it's, you know, the first step or two absolutely taken in parallel here, so we'll see whether or not now San Jose feel like they learned what went wrong in the last game and can try to wrestle some of that back and maintain their position, or if Carleton are already setting themselves up for a 2-0 year now. You know, that may be a little bit presumptuous. They're still 2 kills down. They're still 2K down, 2 turrets down, 2 Drakes down at 22 minutes almost. I wish I'd waited 10 more seconds to make that point. But either way, you know, seeing a bit of a pattern here. They got a couple more steps before they've got the lead back in literally any metric. So we'll see whether or not they can continue to turn this game back on its head and really deal the damage. There's Bren Danger trying to get in onto Stellar Mini, and ooh, hard not landing.
Have the ult.
Yeah, wants to find a little bit more. Iron Man, nice stun up on 2. That's going to keep Yasuo out for some critical seconds here. And will Neostar be able to go down? There's Yasuo trying to come in with it. The ultimate is only on Yadogod, though. Can he find more out of that one? Cassio does go down, but here's Jin as well. Can more happen? Aatrox doing some damage on the back line. Yeah, not a chance. And now Carleton continuing. Good route to come up. Kamikaze most likely going to go down here if Bard has his way about it. The magical journey, though, a little bit off pace, little off kilter. And now under this tower.
Yeah, but the Jin is the speed.
Yeah, he's got it. One more shot will do it, but no, yes, he gets it. Chenzi finds it at the end of the day, and now a tower will be their prize.
Oh my.
And this should be the lead going over to Carleton. They're still actually down 300 gold. But you look at where they were.
Every game, right? The sample size of 2, but both games, Carleton have had no lead, and then their top laner just pops the frick off and wins. You know, he has just won both times in a row, and that's continuing to be the case here. So massive props so far to Banana Warrior, but now they have to close the game out. Not only did they get the lead after being massively behind, but they got, you know, objectives. They got power. They won a second fight. This is a consistent rolling process, and what they need to do is they need to finish it off. They need to finish what they have started here, because SJSU, they gave it up, right? They gave up exactly what we're talking about right now, and if they are to let off the gas, SJSU will just go back into autopilot mode. They will just go back into the Yasuo rolls over everybody, nobody stops us, nobody contests it, and then they get free wins, and we go to 1-1 series. But here, the engage should come out very shortly.
Yeah, they want to get a little bit more pressure here. Pressure, the name of the game, and it's something that works really well for them when they can dictate the pace. Maybe the power coming in here. Nunu with the snowball. That's Banana Warrior. Yeah, but it's absolutely going to get Neostar down. The Yadogod picks that one up for himself, and Banana Warrior wants to get Iron Man down here as well. Anyang has to back out of that one. Has to be careful. They're just going to use Redemption. Get a little bit more HP back in the mix of things there. Not a bad play. Not bad to just take 1 kill, especially on the jungler, and say, now we can threaten this bear, and we know we're a strong team fight team. We know we can turn this on him. Bren Danger in some trouble there. He's rooted up. That may be him. It's going to be the flash. It's going to be behind. Look at the Yadogod coming in. That's going to be absolutely massive. Kamikaze's in some real trouble here now, as Ori and Fiora both go down in the tower. Soon to follow, only Yasuo to defend it, and they want Baron more instead, they decide. They're going to go start the setup here. Neostar has come back up. But man alive, Carleton are just swinging in this game.
Yeah, this is... It's a repeat. It's a deja vu all over again. Carleton University, they've got the lead, and now they are the ones on the Baron. With T-Fitty, though, anything can happen. He goes towards the pit.
Yeah, but it's going to be Nunu taking it out and away. So hard to steal against Nunu. Neostar not even trying over the wall there. Not a chance on that one. Now TP is going to need some real trouble here. He finds 1, 2. Are you kidding me? I said trouble. He is the trouble. Trying to find a third one. That's the triple kill. Can he erase Baron from this entire team? It's a quadra. Keep in mind, he killed Anyang on the beforehand of that too. So entirely responsible for this ace, despite just missing the Penta window. Wow. And the Yadogod, please don't mastery or we will report. LMAO. Wow. What a turn of events there. And just like that, I mean, You know, we ping-ponged once, now we ping-ponged again.
I mean, there's only so many times you can get completely owned by a Yasuo until you say, please don't mastery, right? And that's just part of being a Yasuo player. You know, sometimes they're gonna mastery, sometimes you're not gonna like it. What are you gonna do about it? You know, you gotta beat the Yasuo in order to stop this kind of madness. Stop, you know, everything from just going sideways. And as of right now, nothing has stopped. You know, absolutely nothing. This is a very, very devastating man, and he's got 15 kills to boot. This is not SJSU out by a long shot. If another thing happens like that, if they are out of mana, out of abilities, ultimates, having already been used, and there's Yasuo still alive, you better believe that Carleton are going to be running for the hills.
And consider if that were to happen when Baron were still alive, right? That would have absolutely been a Baron on lock for SJSU, and we'd be looking at a very different point in this game. As it stands, gold is almost dead. Even as it stands, T-Feedy's trying to go in again. Chenzi saved by his own bard this time around, but T-Feedy's in. He's got the ultimate. He's trying to find more. He's locked up, and that could be him going down. He gets a very critical save there, but it's just not enough. He is going to go down to this one. That's going to be a shutdown. Kamikaze as well. Iron Man, look at this. They get knocked down, but they get right back up again. Yeah, there's no way now that Carleton is going to not walk away with a little bit more here. They're going to have a shot at a tower, at an inhibitor. That's 35 more seconds at T-Fiddy as well. Only a very weak Neostar and Bren Danger, Pike and Sejuani respectively to save them. This is going to be bad news for this inhibitor. This could be bad news for the game as they want to continue this pressure out. Ooh. The inhibitor's down for sure. That one is gone. That's just the time to back off. They have 15 seconds before Yasuo can come back and wreak havoc. Wow.
That's, it's certainly putting a statement into this game. Carleton, after losing the Baron buff that they worked so hard to get, they have come back and just shut it all down, right? They did have mana this time. They did have ultimates, and they used those. As soon as they saw the Yasuo, they completely jumped on him. They have the CC to do so, they had the damage, and they just killed him outright. If this happens again, I think that's going to be very devastating. But the message is, can it happen again, right? Will it happen again? The Yasuo has the potential to 1 versus 9 this game if he doesn't go down first.
You have to look at how useless the rest of his team is by comparison, right? He's got 254 CS. The next closest in the game is 182, and it's on his own team. The 1-6 Orianna, the 1-8 Fiora, only sitting at about 120. That's a solid 50 down from his lane counterpart here. This is all on the shoulders of this Yasuo, and Bren Danger's been doing a good job of supporting in the early game, but it seems like now Carleton are a little bit more comfortable trying to play around that and getting past the Pike here. So it's all been a bot lane show from this SJSU squad. What more can they make out of that one? That's Kamikaze flashing. Banana Warriors on after this. They're just going to have to back off. Yeah, it's almost the question on your mind. What's Yasuo going to do next? Because that's the only thing that matters from San Jose State Yellow right now.
But it has to happen, right? This is the ideal situation. Sejuani goes in, gets a pretty decent collapse, forces them to go on her ultimate. Orianna ults off the side. 5-man Yasuo knockup. He goes to town.
Ooh.
That is the only chance they have at winning this. They need a 4 or 5-man Orianna ult to knock everybody up at once, or 4 or 5-man tornado. Whatever has to happen soon, right? They need to collapse into this team. They can't just let them take turrets. If they do, the game's not going to last very much longer. It's not going to last long enough for the Yasuo to do much of anything.
The clock is definitely against them at this point in the game. Inhibitor down as well. Those minions are just going to be causing more and more and more trouble. It's Yasuo, though, the last shining hope for keeping his team alive in this series, and he's going to try to do it here. He is stunned up, does not get a chance to go in with the ultimate there. The tower's in some real trouble. Banana Warrior, in the meantime, says, look, you're talking about this Yasuo guy a lot. I want to prove that I'm a huge carry force in this game as well, and somebody that you need to be spending more time on. Let's split push. Maybe his way to do it. That's going to be the stun up. That's going to be a huge ultimate, actually, blown very early from Neostar. Not exactly what you want, especially just on the new T-Feed. He says, you know what, we can go in for this one anyway. The dashes are there. The redemption is down. He's going to only take some shield damage. He's in with the ultimate. Wants to find Stellar Mini. Going to go through on the magical journey. Can he make more happen? Or is the CC too much? He's alone for a while, but Iron Man's got the kill. Banana Warrior on the back line, though. That's the GA down. Chenzi's already on a killing spree. Maybe more to come. Anyang, what can you do? TPD's down. Brendanger, he's going to get a little bit on that execute, but is it enough to keep this one out? No. Kamikaze's likely going to go down here. That's going to be the killing spree. That's going to be the thumbs up. Brendanger in some trouble, the only surviving member. And here is the curtain call, trying to put the curtain call on this game as a whole, as we are around 31 minutes. They may just try to push through.
Yeah, look at that. Nexus turrets are under siege. This should be the end of it all. Carleton are looking to collapse on the last remaining obstacles between them and a Series 1 victory. It's all to do or die. It's just Pike, and even if he kills the Bard, he cannot touch this Aatrox. The Nexus will be going down, and this will be a Carleton. Oh,
they gotta try to get it. It's so close. Chenzi's here. He's got it. 32 minutes or so on the clock. And at the end of the day, it is Carleton taking this series surprisingly 2-0 based off of 2 starts that looked like it was all San Jose State. I mean, what a turnaround both times from Carleton. And Banana Warrior is the man to thank behind it all. Anyone watching saying who we got up next against us in the bracket, anyone trying to get a little scope on their opponents, well, you've seen some of the tricks up Carleton's sleeve, but the question is, how do you beat them now? Because it looks like you can try.
If I were a coach, and I'm not anymore, so this is fine. This is fine. It's not biased advice. If I were a coach, what I would say is they have difficulty in the early, and especially early mid game, right? That is where you can absolutely take advantages. It's where you can find, ways to just win outright. So all you have to do, this is much easier said than done, is pick a composition that is early enough to take a massive lead and then snowball it into a game win, right? So if you can do that and you get both of those things at once, then you just win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're looking for. They're looking for any way that they can get an early lead and just not fall victim to the letting Banana Warrior win. That's how Carleton came back in both of these 2 games. He's been incredibly strong most of the season, but particularly now that it is into a new patch, now that it's into a new season, we see how they're playing currently, and that is who I would be targeting. Don't let him get his primary champions. Don't let him get safe picks. Force him onto things that are a little bit more unorthodox, and then just punish the rest of the team.
Well, we'll see if that does happen. Obviously, I'm going to be lobbying to get Carleton back on this stream yet again, as we do want to follow them in Manitoba, and some of these other teams that we're seeing do really well here as the Winter Invitational does continue to progress. Well, we got more League of Legends action coming your way every Tuesday and Thursday this season. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. A nice little window for some League action as your day is kind of getting to that point where, you want some good
it's
League in it
slowing
anyway.
down. You need something to close the day out. League of Legends. And if you're interested, if you're a night owl, there's always more stuff up right afterwards. We got CSGO, which has been quite entertaining, if I do say so myself. I'm a little biased. I love the game. Obviously, it's super fun. But if you're interested, stick around. Check them out. They are absolutely great casters and deserving of your attention.
Well, with that, we're going to be bidding you adieu, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for spending your time with us tonight. My name is Kyle Corvus Crow. I've been joined by Jeff Zeta-Schnurr. You can find us both on Twitter at these lovely little boxes below there. That's where we can get your feedback. And there's also CSL LOL if you want to give greater feedback to the League channel as a whole. Like we said, more esports coming up, but that's going to close it out for us tonight. Huge congratulations for Carleton over their 2-0 opponent. Getting the 2-0 over their opponent, San Jose State. And with that, we're going to leave you. Have a great evening, ladies and gentlemen.